With me now from Washington is national political correspondent for the Washington Post, Philip Rucker. Philip, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. I want to go ahead and dive in right away. Senator Lindsey Graham said that Trump's stance on Putin unnerves him to his core. What position is the Trump camp's comments on Putin putting the Republican Party in here? And do you think it's going to have an impact with voters at this point?
You know, it's a great question, because I don't know at this point what kind of impact it's going to have with voters. I don't know how closely voters are following this specific back and forth, and also how much they really feel strongly about Putin. Polls tell us that Putin is very unpopular here in the United States. But again, I don't know that this is an issue that's going to move voters, but it certainly is a dividing issue for the Republican Party, and that's playing right into the Hillary Clinton playbook. She benefits anytime this Republican Party is divided over Trump, and we're seeing that play out here this week. Senator after senator after senator, they're dodging questions about this issue. Nobody is really rushing to Trump's defense, with the exception of his running mate, Mike Pence. It's really been striking. It's
interesting, though, because you said nobody's running to his defense, but if you look at new polling, it shows the race tightening in key battleground states where just a month ago Clinton was holding really strong leads. Do you think this is surprising as we inch closer to the November election?
No, I think we've always expected it would be somewhat of a close race, and the Clinton campaign certainly has been preparing for this. You know, I would be surprised if polls start to show Trump pulling ahead of Clinton. All of the factors that we know about political campaigns would suggest that Clinton should be running away with it right now. She has spent so much money on television ads in these battleground states all through the summer. They've been very effective and really, in some cases, vicious ads attacking Donald Trump. He has not responded at that level yet, and it's interesting that he's still able to keep this race competitive, and I think it speaks volumes not only about the polarization in our politics in this country, but also about the basic weaknesses in Hillary Clinton's candidacy. Voters, generally speaking, just do not really trust her and like her character at this point.
Well, and that's something we continue to hear over and over. I think it's interesting, as you just said, she spent so much money on negative ads. She says she's going to be focusing more, though, now in coming weeks on a positive message for her candidacy. We've seen her kind of, try to target millennials and those kinds of things, but now we're moving into the positive direction. Do you think this is going to work as a strategy for her?
You know, it's a really important thing for her to do. Voters just don't like her right now in the polls. We see that in the polls. We especially see that in focus groups when you ask people to talk about their feelings about her. There's just a real distaste for her. And so I think she's trying to round out her image, soften the edges. There's a new video out today by her campaign where she's embracing a breast cancer survivor in Iowa repeatedly. Every time she goes to Iowa, she's giving this woman a hug. And it's trying to show that, look, Hillary Clinton is a compassionate woman. She cares about people, she's relatable, and they're trying to make her more likable. I don't know that it'll work, but it's something they need to do.
How do you think this type of campaigning will play out in the first presidential debate? We're just 2 weeks away.
I don't think we're going to have a lot of hugging in the first presidential debate. By all accounts, it's going to be.
How does she maneuver that then, and how does he go after that? Because if she's going to start putting out this positive message, then you have the debate. It's probably not going to be very nice.
Yeah, it's tricky for her. I mean, on the one hand, she needs to try to disqualify Donald Trump in the debate and make it clear to all the viewers watching and tuning in that he's just simply not fit and doesn't have the right temperament to be president. On the other hand, she needs people to come away from that 90-minute debate with a gut feeling, an instinct that they like her, that they can handle her being president for 4 years, that they'd be excited about her leadership, and that's a challenge for her. Those are two sort of different objectives, and there's not a lot of overlap there. So she's going to have to try to figure out the right balance.
A little bit earlier, we heard from GOP vice presidential candidate Mike Pence. He was briefed on that national security meeting today. He's set to release his tax returns. Does this put more pressure on Donald Trump to release his tax returns? It looks like a new poll shows 78% of voters want him to release those tax returns. Of course, he keeps saying at this point he can't. So what does he do?
Yeah, well, that's not quite true. I mean, he says he can't because he's under an audit, but he can do whatever he wants. He has these tax returns. He can hit the green button and let us all see them. He's chosen not to do that. So I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's something he's trying to hide or what the answer to that is, but there is pressure on him to release them. I have no doubt that Hillary Clinton will make it an issue in these presidential debates, and certainly the media. We keep asking him about it. Voters are aware of this issue. They care about seeing his tax returns. They care about the transparency. I mean, we've demanded a certain level of transparency from Hillary Clinton, and I think the expectation would be that Donald Trump would be just as transparent as she has been.
Well, and his running mate said at one point over the last weekend, that he would release them. So I guess we'll just wait and see what happens. Philip Rucker in Washington, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.